I'm about global info analytics. And I think Friday, 10th April 2026. It's not about with the NDC race. No? Who is NDC? This time around, yani NDC delegates in a dinkita. More than 10,000 of them. I think 11,000, 10,000 of them. And I don't dinkita across all the regions.
Abusiafo ansana NPP political party no omobetu aba na omoyi omo flag bearer no yen papa Musah Danquah what the series of coups eba bonten emso wo hye somewhere September what the be by October, November, December and January enti after elections no so ye hu say the coups na what the ba bonten no na eye very close results na what the betu abonten say after the elections no say na ebekọ no ye na ye hundie esiye na right after NPP elections no na wode beto abonten say ono de on twen bronya ansa na waginani enu nti NDC for de na eye next na all promises say every month bia up to the very month NDC for so ebeto omo abade na omo ayi omo flag bearer no wode push ebeba bonten ebi mo ho a woni Ghana fo nyina ebekasa ebi ho nso woni NDC delegates nso na ebekasa. Ye were the month of April, yen papa Musah Danquah ababekasa said the month of April no pools no aye ready. It's only Ghana for ababedi in commo edia for na say me so ma hye mbo say ade biara efa politics ho no de me de beba beso mo no ye be kwakohwe yen papa Musah Danquah ni video no na ye tie ensem a o kan sisi ade wasi wa BM because pool na wode ba match no na krofo binum e complain say wayi ebinum ade afrim na wo say onye bias inti watie Ghana for the yeka enu nti odi nkrofo be se 20 na conduct this particular pool no na the all can or say there is shocking revelation bia apm me ma mekasa enye tintin ye beko akotie papa Musah Danquah na yenso ayeye NDC fo ana say yenso ayeye NPP fo no na ye hudie ebekoso because we NPP ni you should be concerned because candidate NDC for ebeyi no ebetimi anya sunsanso ewo NPP eso enu nti bekwa kotie Musah Danquah na yahudie wode eto Ghana for enim na ansa na yebekọ ne nchen no yen sister bi e friend say Ama Price we presidential secretary to the vice president obabedi inkomo bi mepese me na we tie nsemu a yen sister Ama Price all kan emra ye free no say he has been appointed and I say the appointment no ebe man no say or no be secretary to the vice president no na owo hen e die na oye na die be asem e na ye ka kire no na hwempo e na wo frɛ no e wo funso yentie yen sister Ama Prat we Kwasi Prat Junior ne ba ye wi a me de Musah Danquah ne video no e beto so e de ama unia ma me fa sa konya wi so na me srɛ se unya en subscribe ya subscribe na e wodan ho no obekirike so like a video is so na share ma wo de bi no nso onya bi enhwe any comment a wo no after say wa hwe video no awie no just go to the comment section na drop ni na e wo ho ema me kan na mayi ano e de ama me da wase yankopon hira na wonye wakoma so abisade nyina emfa ema yenti yen sister Ama Prat wi a me de Musah Danquah video no e beto so e de ama yankopon hira
a much demanding one. Yes. But how was the feeling like when you received the news you were going to be the spokesperson for the vice president and then the press secretary as well? How did you receive the news?
So, I mean, for me, it's one of the most beautiful stories, right? It's a long one. Do you have time?
I have all the time for you, Ama. Please tell us. We want to be inspired.
So, I'd had thieves come into the house and they'd made away with my phones, all of that. At that time, I was just completing a course with GIJ, my master's in media management. So I was on my way, with one of my colleagues, TJ, to go submit the thesis. So I get a call from a friend, and the person says, Ama, everybody's trying to reach you, and your phone is off. So I explained, like, oh, this is what has happened with my phone, so I think I'm too traumatized to attempt to go and retrieve my chip and get my phone. I'm going to be phoneless for to heal.
Yeah.
It's like, and he's like, no, somebody's trying to reach you. Da, 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 da. Long story short, I go for a yam phone. I put my chip in it, and I get a call. I get a call from Her Excellency herself.
Wow.
Right? And so the first few minutes, it's about what had happened, because I'm explaining why I've been incommunicado. So we have a chat about that. And then after that, she says to me, let's work, right? And Anita, I can't put to words the feeling of that moment. And, I'm not sure if I remember everything, but I think there was a long pause on the phone, on the phone where
you were
it's
trying
just
to process
me,
everything.
Trying to take it all in, because I did not expect it at all. I had no expectation that something like that was going to happen. And, it was such a moment for me. I tend to be a little too sentimental. It's one of my problems. I tend to be a little too sentimental. But I was thinking about the weight of the moment. We are going to have the first female vice president of this country, right? And I'm being asked to be a part of that history. Yeah. It was bigger than me, bigger than, yeah. So yeah, that's how it happened. And then of course subsequently I got a call from my other boss, the Honorable Felix Kwachofosu, who then had a conversation about, with me about this, that, this is what's going to happen, Then it was about the title. Are you going to be a spokesperson? Are you going to be press secretary? So that conversation also happened. He felt that the press secretary was brother. It was, so all those conversations were had. But to be honest, it's actually that conversation that brought it home, that made it real, in a way. It's like, okay, because around that time, he was the one that was doing the announcements on his Facebook post, if you can remember.
Yes.
Everybody was waiting on Felix's
once
page.
Posts, you know that it's confirmed.
Right. So once I had that call from him, and he said that there was going to be a call, and and then also I got a call from my chief of staff, the Honorable Alex Segbefia, who also said, well, this is. I was like, okay, it's happening.
Let's take it back. Let's take it all the way back. And you have a father who's been very, vocal. Very, very. I'm trying to look for the right word to qualify the role he's played in our political landscape. I mean, we cannot overemphasize how important his role, his voice, his legacy has been in our history when it comes to politics and all of that. And growing up with such a father, consciously and subconsciously, what were some of the things you picked from him?
A lot. I say that perhaps who I am today is largely based on who he is, right? I would never, ever, ever downplay, the relevance of him on me. It's just what it is. I have two brothers. I have Payne and Kakra. They come after me. And the argument is that, how come they are also not in the space if he's, but he's shaped us in different ways, right? My brothers are who they are because of who he is. Maybe they didn't toe this line, but in whatever field they are, in the kind of people that they are, in the person that they are, because it comes back to your essence, isn't it? We've all been shaped by him. You cannot not be by such a human being that's so alive, if I can say that. But I see that it's interesting because I grew up not wanting to be in politics.
Not at all?
At all.
So then what happened?
At all.
At what point?
I mean, growing up, politics was life and death. And I mean that literally. I don't mean, it's not today that politics is about,
We're so free about it.
No. That's not the politics that I grew up, I grew up, witnessing my dad get picked up at dawn, I've seen him run out of an airport, being chased, I was there, and I remember these things don't leave your memory. I've had conversations where, somebody's telling my mom, speak to him, let him think about the children. He's going to die, things like that. So those things remain with you. And who wants to do that? Not I, right? And so I did not grow up wanting to be in politics or wanting to be him in that sense, not at all. It's just that I grew up with the sense of responsibility and awareness, of self, but self being bigger than you, where whoever you are, whatever you are, whatever you do, should be to the benefit of the larger group.
Yeah.
So I grew up too keenly aware of this, that, I mean, whatever skill you have, whatever, you know, I mean, your essence is not for you. It's not to benefit you, you know. And so it's always about what can I do to help. That's my approach. What can I do to help? How can I assist? How can I, you know, in my own small way, right? It might not be much, but in my own small way, how can I contribute, help to this? And I say it's all him. It's him. It really is him.
But
hello, good evening. I'm about Global Info Analytics, and I think Friday, 10th April, 2026. It's about with the NDC race. No, who is NDC? This time around, yani NDC delegates in a dinkita, more than 10,000 of them. I think 11,000, 10,000 of them, and I don't dinkita across all the regions. First one, about 5,700. Second one, almost 4,700 pizza. But the full report will be out next week. Now, and is saying, your first delegate on telephone across. Now, the AN is ya mo ubia edin antre ubi there be. No, the FN unprompted recall. And no, ye mo ubia edin entre say smasi and air contested. Anyway, they were trying to there be. It be so say, and this back with you will be original on my name for 2028. Why now? You do swap on Betua Mano. Omo edin in train near Yan Casayan take. Edin the coy a dorsal. A man for frame, yes, must be caught, way back, in Tiffany Dinka, and I compile edin in edin by 26. 26 na edin say the wine when omodi omodin emaye akwasi opon fosu honorable Dr. Dominic Ayeni, Attorney General, Hanatete, former Minister of Trade and Foreign Minister, Alex Mould, former GMPC, Mahama Yarega, Majority Leader, Agbemeva Lolomavo Eleplim, NDC, Eastern Region, Akotia Constituency to be precise, Sylvester Mensah, I think Exim Bank, Kanabi Bisa, yes, Kojo Bonsu, Ghana Ambassador to China, Iwada, former Tema Oil Refinery Boss, Ama Kofi Bua, Minister for Environment, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Guzitano, 24-hour economy, Frank Amakohini, Ashanti Regional Minister, Kopna Donko, former Finance Minister and former Bank of Ghana Governor, Spio Gabra, former Ambassador to the United States and Minister for Communication, Montaka Mubarak, Honorable, current Minister for Interior, Zinato Ajman Rollins, MP, Koli Klote, Eric Opoku, Minister for Agric, MP for Mr. Sunafu, Safobi, Professor Joshua Alabi, former UPSC and I think current board chairman, Ghana Commercial Bank, the two Ablakwa, Foreign Minister, Julius Debra, Chief of Staff, Professor Opoku Ajiman, Nana, current Vice President, Haruna Idrisu, Minister for Education, Atufosin, Minister for Finance, and Asidu Nketia, Chairman. So, Edin and Edu call and this delegate in China. Maybe some say one on Betuama. Inti Mwaya Mudimaya no next week, Emeboa Muhudia Koso. Very fascinating. Why NA key contenders in the NDC race, top 5. Why NA Asedu Ketia defeat no hands down. Why sooner or somewhere now heading next week? Yameboa the Dimina Bebremo from Global Info Analytics. Good night and bye bye.